Hello, welcome to 8th grade U.S. History. My name is Mr. Kevin Matheson. This is our classroom this year. So we know it's going to be a totally different year. Whether you're in class or online, I hope that this space still makes you interested. We're going to go over a couple of things. Well, let's just come on in, future voters and fellow citizens. So this is our socially distanced classroom. We are trying to do the 3 foot by 3 foot at least in the in-person. Not all of these desks will be used in all the classes. As you can see, we got a couple of the barriers that will be put on. Kids will be sitting down, see through that. We'll still have our masks on. We'll do what we need to do. If you look around the room, you'll see a lot of things that we're going to be covering this year. Starting here on the left with colonization. Then the kids always come in, we've got learning targets, can be much more detailed most of the time. Across the front, we are going to be spending a little bit of time on the election. We're not going to cover it every day, but we definitely want to bring up these current events. Some events leading up to the American Revolution, the teacher desk, which doesn't matter this year, and then as you move to the back, some things leading into our war for independence. So what I wanted to do is keep this as straightforward as I can. So what I have up on the screen is the syllabus / parent letter that we're going to use. The kids are going to get this. Parents are going to see this. It's all going to be digital this year. I'm going to skip through some stuff. If it's too long, I understand. You'll be able to see where we're at. You can fast forward in the video kind of thing. Most time for open house, I'm just shaking hands and saying hi and trying to make connections. Obviously, different this year. So, U.S. history. Our description, as we said, is 36 weeks of American history. We're going to follow the state standards, Common Core, reading, writing, college career readiness. Straightforward. We do not have a state test in this class, but we will be having what we call an SLO. So it's Mr. Joseph, the other teacher, and I, and Ms. Kapuscinski. We sit down, we look at, and we narrow down the most important topics, and your kids have a growth exam throughout the year. Nothing to worry about right now. It usually goes very, very well. Course content, as you kind of saw for the first quarter, we are, as I said, parentheses, discovery and colonization of North America. Throughout all these events this year, we're going to, yes, look at the positives, but then the realities. There are a lot of negatives. We can't talk about colonization without slavery, one of the worst things that ever happened in this country. We're going to go through, we're going to see the American Revolution, we're going to look at things like the Declaration of Independence. The second quarter is our foundations, the things that we need to know as American citizens today. The Articles of Confederation, our first national government. The Constitution, our current national government, and the Bill of Rights. Usually a fun time. Second half of the year, we take the black and white words and turn it into gray. By looking at how the actions of the presidents and the leaders of the time, how their decisions shaped these documents and shaped not just the physical of this country, but the mental, economic, political. So a lot of pretty interesting stuff. We do end after Reconstruction, then kids get the second half of U.S. history in 10th grade. State standards will be there for you to look at. Obviously not going to read them all to you, but we're going to follow these content statements. I also included links to some of the Common Core connections with language arts. We do write a lot in here. And with speaking and listening. This year will be different. Like, we won't be having kids stand up in front of class giving speeches. Every kid is now screaming, yay! But we'll be doing other things, like having the kids use Flipgrid to record themselves giving things and then sharing those clips with the class in a learning environment. We'll do different things that still work on those listening and speaking skills. On to a little bit of teacher background. This is year 18 for me at Midview, 15 full-time. Just a lot of pictures that give a little bit with me and background. Nothing to go over now, but wanted to have a little bit of fun with it. Guiding principles. I'm not going over everything, real simple. My emphasis, our emphasis, is daily effort from your child that causes consistent growth. which will lead to long-term academic results, but also skill development, leadership, accountability. And you'll be able to look at this a lot easier later when it's shared to you, but it's a lot of things that I believe. Hopefully that helps you in understanding how I do things. Teacher expectations for students: be prepared, work hard, positive attitude. That's all that I can ask of you. Never does it say get an A, be a perfect student. Not at all. You do these things to the best of your ability, you will succeed, you will grow this year. This slide is all about grading. We'll address this more throughout the year. I'm not even gonna worry about it now. I like to really get into leadership and thinking, so your child will see these kind of diagrams. Your child will see things like what gets them to success, all the things that people don't see. So what I put down is facts about me, that I do work hard for your child. I will care about your child, creativity, all these. But I will fail, and I will not be perfect at times. That's just a reality. If we're taking risks, the students are going to make mistakes. I'm going to make mistakes. We're going to get through it, we're going to improve, we're going to learn, and we're all going to grow together this year. PBIS was a big thing last year at the middle school, and it's been a big district initiative. We're going to continue these positive behavioral instructional strategies. That leads into COVID. Obviously, I'm wearing the mask now because I'm in the classroom. We're going to have barriers. We're going to be washing our hands. We're going to be socially distanced. I'm going to do my best to create a classroom environment that's as safe as I can for your child following the district initiatives. This is near to me. Last year I did have COVID when we left. I was out for about a month. This summer, my wife had COVID. So I have that personal connection with it. We will do our best. I know it's not easy to wear the mask. I'm already fogging up a little bit because I'm so animated with things. We'll figure it out. We'll find a way to make it work for you. Procedures of the class, nothing to stress here. You can look at that at your own time. Not a big enough deal to look at now. Supplies, a lot of people worry about that. Fully charged working Chromebook every day. We're going to use the Chromebook every single day. So if your child doesn't have the Chromebook, I believe we might be getting some class ones, but I am not sure. We haven't had our first day yet at the time that I'm videoing this. So got to have that Chromebook here. It's going to be critical. The agenda, we'll still want to do. And I'm not doing a folder or portfolio this year, as if you've had another one of your children go through this class. Not going to do that. We're going to do different ways of doing that. But I do suggest a folder and some paper, because we are going to ask them to take notes. Document some things in class. We might be having a discussion where I'm like, write down 3 or 4 things that you learned from the different perspectives, or watch a video and write it down. But instead of handing me those notes, it might be I go around and I get out my phone and I take the picture of it so that I have it there. Or they get on their computer and go to Flipgrid and record a video showing it up like that. That'll be a good way for kids who don't want to do more work at home. Like if we're doing a project, take a picture, send it in an email. We can work through all of this. We will not be passing out the books. I'm not planning on doing that. Maybe later in the year, we'll see, but I feel like if there's something that I want them to read, I can just take pictures, I can put it on Google for them. If your child is struggling and they actually want a book, we can work that out, not a problem. Okay, Google Classroom is going to be our focus this year. Here are the classroom codes. Don't worry about trying to write them down now, because this will be sent to you. But as a parent, as a student, everything will be on Google Classroom. The second thing is just a little bit of more clarification about how kids turn in assignments, and an example of some activities I did at the spring of last year when we left. The biggest thing to realize is just because it says that it's turned in doesn't mean your child turned it in. We had that problem last year. We'll work through it, we'll communicate, we'll figure it out. The last thing, almost done, thank you, is communication. I do believe that it is all three have to be on the same page. The child, the teacher, and the parent. And I'm going to do my best to communicate with you this year. Every week I try to send out what I call my weekly parent email. I've been doing this for now 15 years. I try to do it every Sunday night or Monday early. You know, life takes over, can't always do it. It takes me at least an hour to type these up, because it usually gives you some summary of what we've been doing, and it gives you all that we're going to do the next week. This year, I'm going to send it to students as well. Normally, especially if you've had a child having in the past, they get a weekly schedule printout. Well, we're going to do as little paper as possible. So your child is going to have to be able to go, okay, I can come into Mr. Matheson's class and look at the board and go day by day, or if I want to get ahead, I can look at what he's sending, I can look at Google Classroom, and I can work ahead on some things. In Google Classroom, there will be classwork stuff and homework stuff, and we'll figure it out as we go. We might start the first week and kids go, this is horrible the way you're doing it, and I change it completely. I'm going to pay attention to their needs. Email, real simple, kmatheson@midviewk12.org. I check it about 1,000 times a day. I've tried to get better, and I try to stop checking it around 7 at night. So if you send too late, I might not get it that night, but I will do my best to get back to you as soon as I can. Phone calls. Due to COVID, I'm going to get in here when I'm supposed to, and I'm probably going to leave right when I'm supposed to just because of active of the virus and things like that. So if I do need to call you or you ask me to call you and I cannot get it done within our days, I may be calling you on my personal phone and using *67. So I would not expect you, because I don't pick up to restricted numbers, but I would leave a message and we'd be able to communicate that way. Google Classroom, as I said, there will be ways for parents to look at this. Great tool. We'll be using Google Meet this year, unless that has changed since we last updated. Last year I used Zoom. I will get comfortable with Meet. I feel like Meet will be better for students who are online. I don't know how everything's going to be working with the recording, because we're going to find out actually tomorrow on our first day. But I'm hoping to be able to set up Meet times, whether it's the after school slots where kids can get in and we can talk for those of you that are online. I might be able to do some later in the evenings, depending on the week, depending on the day. I can't commit to that every week, but we'll figure it out. I will meet your needs. Almost done. I do have a class Facebook page. It is there. You do not have to sign up for Facebook. This is not required of students or of parents, but this is a place where I can give updates. I put a lot of pictures of things that I don't put in the weekly emails or Google Classroom. So this is more fun stuff. I never put children's pictures up there since it's an open web page, but I do have a lot of people that like following it because it's just some different stuff. I do have a Twitter account. I don't update it often. I'm pretty addicted to my personal Twitter account. But I'll try to do a little bit better with this if you are more of a Twitter person than a Facebook person. Okay, finally, you got a summary of everything. I hope that you've seen that even through the mask, we're going to have a fun year. It's going to be stressful at times because of the health situation, because of just social distancing, because of everything. But your child hopefully will be able to come in with a good attitude. I will hopefully come in with a good attitude. We will work together. We will figure things out. Now, normally, within the first week, I ask kids and parents to sign a parent letter and a student info sheet. Well, this year I'm asking for something different. So you could do this already. You don't have to wait till the first week of school. As soon as you see this video, you could do this. What I'm asking, instead of a hard copy, is for you as the parent to email me from whatever email address you check most. Because when I set up that weekly parent email, I'm going to use what's in PowerSchool. But as I found last year, a lot of those aren't the same email addresses you use. So you'd send it to me, your name, child name, kind of thing like that, the period, the best phone number to reach you at. I'm pretty much asking for you to take a lot of this stuff and put it into the email. Okay? So name, especially if it's a different last name or something like that, so that I can keep things, as figured out as possible for your child. Any information, best time to reach, things like that. And I have goals for this classroom this year and your child. I'm asking you to put down 2 goals that you have. Now, normally I have the students do that too. You could work with your student and do this at the same time and have student goals and parent goals. But I just want to see what your expectations are. This will be due, I don't know, week 2 into the school year, something like that. I know this was long. I hope that you got a sense of an understanding of how we're going to do things. I'm going to be posting a lot of videos this year through the Facebook page. There will be videos on Google Classroom. I'm excited to start this year. It's going to be a different one, but we'll all get through it together. Thank you. I look forward to meeting you in any way that we do. Here's to a great year.